How was your night?
It was great. It was a night which I have been dreaming of doing since a little kid. So me being able to go through that was a mix of emotions. It's kind of weird looking back at it. It goes by so fast.
What was the moment like when you found out it was the Mavs? Did you get told before Adam Silver announced it? How did that happen for you?
Yeah, so I got told, my agents called me at like the 17th pick. And so I was on FaceTime with my agents, and, they were celebrating, and, it was the best feeling in the world, and being able to know that I was going to go to Dallas, I was over the moon. I was so happy.
What was the first thing that you thought of when you heard Mavericks? Or did you think about the city? Did you think about, your role on the team, the guys on the team? What was the first thing?
You don't really think of anything, you just kind of go into shock, when you hear your name get called. It's something, you can't really explain, it just happens. So for me, like, it's weird. It's really weird to explain. It's just a situation where, like, you don't really think of what's going on, it's just, you're very starstruck. I was extremely starstruck. I didn't really know how to react.
Did you at least get time then to kind of acknowledge your family and acknowledge the fact that you were there with, your sister Maya, who you're close with, and Jay and your whole family? Did you get to embrace that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, being next to my family was amazing. At a normal draft, obviously you're at your table and everything like that. But then when you get drafted, you go in the back and you're gone for 4 hours. So me being able to do the whole thing with my family and having my family around the whole time was amazing. I loved every second of it. So, I was lucky enough to have my family and some of my really close friends next to me. And yeah, it was awesome.
When I spoke to your trainer, Joe, before the draft, he mentioned Dallas really, really specifically as a place where you can go in and make an impact right away and know your role. Is that something that you've kind of processed a little bit now, knowing your skill set and how it can, mesh with the Mavericks team that we see right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest part of my game is being able to know what I need to do to help a team out. I feel like there's certain stuff which doesn't show up in the stat book, which I feel like I do very well. So for me, I think coming in as a rookie, I'm completely fine with doing the dirty work. I love playing defense. I love getting up and down, getting on the floor, hustling. So for me, I feel like if I'm able to make winning plays, it can only help Dallas out. So, I'm going to come in with that mindset, being able to learn from the older guys on the team, being able to learn from somebody like Luka, who's younger, but star now in the NBA. So for me, it's just about growing every single day, bringing 100% and just doing whatever I can do to help the team out the most.
So I think of players in your position on that team. You got Tim Hardaway, you got Josh Richardson now. Do you see those guys as well as guys that you can learn from? I think Josh Richardson probably a pretty similar player to you as far as his skill set goes. Do you think of someone like that, guy who's been in the league a few years, as someone you can learn from as well?
Yeah, 100%. Like, actually, my team interviews, a lot of teams ask me, who do you think you can kind of play similar to? And, Josh Richardson was one of the people I bring up just because of the impact he has on the floor. He has a huge impact on the floor. He's a very big leader, plays defense. So for me, being able to practice against somebody like that every day and to have him as like my vet, I think it's awesome. I think I can continue to learn and just develop off him.
When I was speaking with NBA teams before the draft, one thing they mentioned about you is that you have the ability to go into a team and play right away. You're not a guy who they're drafting because of your high ceiling, even though you do have a lot of potential. They're drafting you because they know that you can make an impact now. Do you feel that? And as you sit there now, do you think you can definitely, let's say, go into training camp and be an impact guy from day one?
I mean, I do think so. I put a lot of hard work into my game, and I have confidence in my game, and I know what I can do. And I think I'm ready to go no matter what. I think if the coach calls my name, I need to make sure that I'm ready no matter what. So for me, I feel like I do. I feel like the way I play on the defensive end and doing the smaller things in the game, I think it's useful for a team. I think teams can use me. But, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the coach's decision. But no matter what the decision is, I'm going to be more than ready to go. And I'm going to be so excited to get on the floor and just show them what I can do.
So last night in your press conference, you spoke about the idea of playing your role to start off when you get to Dallas, but always in the back of your mind and, making sure you keep working on things in order to grow as a player and to keep developing your game. In your mind, what do those things look like? What does, let's say, Josh Green in 2, 3, 4 years look like?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something, for anybody, you can't, it's so unpredictable of what your future can be like. But that's why I think it's important for younger guys to come in and know what they have to do for a team to be successful. So for me, from the get-go, I need to make sure I'm playing defense, continuing to play defense, being a good, great teammate. Just doing little stuff on the court. There's only one ball on the court. You have 5 other players on your teammates. So not everybody can shoot the ball. So you need to be able to find a way for you to do the little things to help. And obviously throughout an NBA career, you start getting more respect and you're able to shoot. But for me, my main focus is coming in and just doing whatever I can do to help the team out.
So you won a national championship at IMG Academy. You went on to play at Arizona, and now you're going to a team that has really solid playoff aspirations. How do you think that upbringing, the where you played growing up and how you played at those places and the success you had, how do you think that's prepared you to go into a team that's going to want you to make an impact and win from day one?
Yeah, I mean, I think I love winning. I try to resemble my whole game from winning, and I want to it's just something I enjoy. I've always been a competitive guy, and so for me, I think it's big for a team. Like I said before, like a lot of people don't want to make smaller plays in the game, like jumping on the floor, taking the charge. But for me, I see those as winning plays, and those are the plays I'm willing to sacrifice for my team to win the game, or just get momentum in the game.
When I spoke to you kind of going into the draft, the idea of mock drafts is really interesting, right? You have a whole bunch of different people putting you in different places, right? So, someone might have you in the second round, someone might have you really early in the first. And for you as a player who has now gone through it and you've sort of over that finish line, what kind of message would you have for other potential draftees whose eyes are, locked onto mock drafts and they're listening to the noise and, and then what happens in reality might not match the mocks? What's your message for those young guys?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is just control what you can control. I think for the matter of fact, what I learn is the only thing I can do every day in order for me to be ready for draft day is to get ready, just work out every day. That's the only thing I control. Obviously, media is going to have their perspective of, media needs to put out stuff. So for the most part, it's going to come down to what the NBA team needs and the GM. It's not going to come to the media side of things. But so for me, I think it's important just for a player to knuckle down and just get as good as you can each day, come in every day and just working as hard as you can. And, I think results will show. And it's more something, where it's between the agents and the NBA executives. So for me, I would say just work as hard as you can. The other stuff will happen.
You've mentioned Tokyo 2020, or now 2021, as something that you're looking forward to and something you'd like to be a part of. The world is really weird right now, but is that still something that is a goal for you to make that Boomers team for 2021?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to play for the Boomers. I've always wanted to be out to represent Australia, and I always continue to want to represent Australia. Every single time I'm on the court, I make sure that I try my best to, be a good role model for little kids growing up in Australia and whatnot. So for me to be able to put on the green and gold, I'd love to do it. And I just think it just depends on how the season goes this year and, how they structure the whole Olympics.
When was the last time you came to Australia? And do you have any plans on somehow getting back here?
Last time I came to Australia was the last time I was in Australia. So it was when I left on a plane.
You were 14.
Yeah. So 14. Yep. I was 14. So a long time ago. But I think as far as being back in Australia, I think it'll be awesome just to be back there in my off seasons. I think Australia would be an amazing spot for me to be back home, see my family. And I think it's a cool place to be back for like a month or two in the off season. So I think I'll definitely try to add that to my schedule. Just depending on what the team needs or anything like that though.
We're going into a really kind of uncertain time. The season is starting a lot sooner than everyone thought. The pandemic is still raging in the US. When you think about what this next year for you is going to hold, let's say this next 12 months, what's sort of the prevailing feeling, like the one emotion that's going through your head that's sort of taking over your body and, guiding all of your decisions?
Honestly, like I'm excited, I'm motivated, I'm ready to go. Like I'm really looking forward to being able to get to Dallas and just working as hard as I can, and start to the training camp. I want to be able to, bring energy and just learn as much as I can. I'm a young guy. We got other younger guys coming in. So for me, I think it's important just to come in with the learning aspect and just continue to learn and just develop my game.
What are your thoughts on Luka? And have you sort of, even over the past year? Have you seen how guys can play off him and play with him and make each other better? What's going in, what's the first thing that's coming to your mind as far as playing with someone like him?
I mean, I think Luka is an amazing player. He's a young guy taking over the league now. So for me, he's a very unselfish player, loves to pass the ball, and just the whole way Dallas Mavericks play. They play, getting up and down, and more of a, they're unselfish. They move the ball, they pass the ball. They have four people out, sometimes 5 people out on the perimeter. So for me, I think it's going to come down to just moving a lot on the offensive end, and just hitting open shots. Because at the end of the day, Luka's a very good playmaker, and gets everybody involved in the game.
It's a really international team, and I think Mark Cuban has always structured it that way, and he's always been a fan of the international guys. You've played in America for a long time, but you're still an international guy. The way you play is, I think, a lot of people see it as like a typical Australian. You move the ball, things like that. You're joining a team with someone like Luka and Kristaps and Maxi Kleber last year. Do you think that's almost you're in a better position than some other players because you have that, you sort of have that international mindset?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I always love playing international people. It's super cool. It's a really unselfish environment, structured basketball. So, I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, I think it's going to be awesome to be able to, meet people from all around the world as well as play with them. So I can't wait.